Just wanted to do a quick video showing the prophetic wonders of the Lord happening at the moment to build up your spirits and for you to keep faith. Keep faith in what is happening and listen to what God says and not what the news says. You may have seen Roger Stone. If you're in New Zealand, you might not have. If you look up, Roger Stone was stormtrooped, him and his wife and their 3 cats and a little dog. His wife's death, and he's like 66 years old, and they were stormtrooped at before dawn, 6 o'clock in the morning, and CNN had been tipped off and were there an hour earlier, so which is against the law, you know, for FBI to do that. So it was an incredible situation, and when they were just arresting somebody on suspicion of lying. So it's going to backfire, and I just want to do this video because of the dream that I had where Trump looked like he had caved on the wall, and the wall, which of course is so crucial to these criminals. It's not about just you know, people coming over, you know, from other countries. You know, this wall represents every illegal drug smuggling, every illegal even information smuggling from, you know, China and Russia, every, you know, people smuggling, but, you know, it's just every evil that there is comes through because of the wall. And that's why the Democrats, who, even though they supported it only a few years ago when Trump wasn't in power, are now, you know, vehemently against it and blocking it and prepared to do anything against the American people. But even though many people thought that he had caved and it didn't look good, and that he looked weak, as you know, my dream seemed to be saying, you know, the dream that I had where, you know, he was weak and on his last legs. But then he got up and did a State of the Union speech, and the whole country went crazy, absolutely wild with joy. So I'm just praying that that's true. Please excuse me, sweat running down my head, it's so hot here. That's, you know, and I just wanted to show you what I have found since. I've found videos from Trey, because of course to me in New Zealand the State of the Union isn't important, and I couldn't understand why this witch wanted to stop it so much. But I have since found not only a prophecy of Clement about the stone, in which he always said, I always, you know, when I'd hear this prophecy, I always noticed he would always say, remember the word. You know, God said in this prophecy, he says, I will take a stone, and he says, remember the name. And so today, you know, that's what I'm believing, that the name is Roger Stone. And then I found another video that while I was looking for this particular one, and this one is one that somebody else did in 2017, so it's obviously not talking about Roger Stone, but they also have emphasized the name Stone, and they've found it through the Bible codes. And as I saw it there, and I don't think they realized what they've done or whether it was significant to them at all, but I saw not only the word stone, but the letter R before it. So that's Roger Stone. So I believe out of this absolute fiasco that Donald Trump is going to get these people. He's playing 4D chess, and he's going to get them exactly where he wants them, using their own duplicity to take them down.
The giant of death, the giants that have come, the brothers of Goliath, stand in glee watching America. We will cripple you. You will lose your credit. But God said, watch. I said 20,000.
And that was what the stock market actually rose to.
Look not to Wall Street, however, observe. And they shall say, what is your plan for this giant? And he will take a simple stone. Remember the name.
Remember the name.
And he will hold it up, and they will...
This was in 2014.
...laugh at him. But the plan is so brilliant, says the Lord. It could only have been given by me.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, world leaders, ambassadors, and distinguished delegates. 1 year ago, I stood before you for the first time in this grand hall. I addressed the threats facing our world, and I presented a vision to achieve a brighter future for all of humanity. Today, I stand before the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
So that's we wrestle not against. We wrestle not against.
The economy is booming like never before. Since my election, we've had.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. Why would they laugh at him when he's just telling the truth? But it was prophetic.
$10 trillion in wealth. The stock market is at an all-time high in history, and jobless claims are at a 50-year low.
Come on!
So I'll just show you now. On the other video here, which is Clement Trump Prophecy of Gold, a Stone and a Statue. My testimony about the simple stone. And this is by Matthew 7-Monte Carlo 24-7. Not a very easy one. So here, he's emphasizing that the simple stone was thrown, but what I noticed about this was not only is the word stone in the Bible codes, there's the word Eric there. Is that Eric Trump? And that's what I wanted you to see there. Not only is it the word stone, but the letter R is before the stone. Could that be Roger Stone? And I just also want to show you a little bit of Trey Smith. So I just encourage you to look up these for yourself. And he is using the signs that we've just had of the blood moon and linking that to the State of the Union.
And businesses started by migrants and refugees. That is his pitch. There are 21 million refugees, by the way.
So he found my son, shot him in the stomach, and while he was on his back, according to the coroner, with his hands up in the air, shot him through his hand, blew his fingers off.
Where's the immigrants? So this is what he's just saying. Trump's achievement.
The hands of a small few.
State of the Union coming up in just a few days. By the time I'm making this video of the United States, let me tell you what here's what the sign is. The State of the Union, not just for this country where I'm sitting, the U.S., but for the entire globe. The signs, which sometimes can be policies, anything that lifts you up is a sign.
Donald Trump came to Indiana and talked a lot about what happened with the Carrier Corporation and shipping their jobs out of state. Here's someone who worked for Carrier, and he has a question for you.
How you doing, Mr. President?
How are you?
My name is Eric Cottenham, and I represent the Steelworkers Union.
Does the rain not fall on the righteous and the wicked?
That was the name Eric. Do you remember? I just pointed out the name Eric in the Bible Codes.
Like State of the Union of the United States is good, unparalleled good in world history right now.
When somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do?
Economic growth has hit 4.2%. Now, Donald Trump was stating that he believed he could hit 4%. And people under Obama were saying, oh, he's nuts, he's crazy, he's stupid, it's more crazy talk out of Trump. Because that's what they always say, right?
I see them all the time. Bureaucrats think they can run over your lives, overrule your values, meddle in your faith.
That's 4.2. That's unheard of right there. Not only this, but where has much of that growth been? The very groups that were told, oh, he hates you, he doesn't like you, he's against you, he's fighting you, he's attacking you. African American unemployment has achieved the lowest rate ever recorded in history. That's in 2 years. This is a guy that didn't like black people. Is that correct? Quit allowing people that are puppeteers on top to play you like fools, because you're not fools. None of you. You wouldn't be watching my videos if you were idiots, and you're not.
There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is, he doesn't have an answer.
And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God.
Okay, so this is to all those like Jacinda Ardern who believes the first guy, the liar, Barack Obama, the Antichrist, and who has taken her country and her people down a road of slavery, you know, that pushing us towards the globalist. And they are losing, and so I don't know where it's going to leave New Zealand. I don't think it's a very good place, but I know that we're already under the curse for what we did to Israel because of John Key and our weather, everything. You know, we are not the blessed nation that we were, and all we can do is pray and start looking at these things, looking at the signs. You know, start believing that God talks to you in your dreams. You know, start coming back to who you are spiritually, and stop being these, you know, these half-dead zombies just sitting watching Simon Dello, you know, and the rest of them, you know, spout lies on the news, because that's all they're doing, and putting Jacinda Ardern up on the, you know, on the news every night. Have you ever seen a prime minister, you know, who you know, they could just put out a new brand of toothpaste and she'd be there for a photo op. You know, it's like impossible to have a single night when she's not on the news. So, you know, she's just part and parcel of this millennium, this socialist educated group who fated Obama when he came, and Hillary Clinton, you know, and, you know, everything is rules for radicals. She's a total communist plant, and just a download of Helen Clark. So that's my rant. But remember the good news. I'm believing the good news because Jesus is talking to his people on this earth, and as you have seen there, we are winning. And I'm sending out the word from New Zealand. The Masons may be sending out the word from New Zealand, but I'm sending out the word from New Zealand, and my word trumps your word anytime. My word is in Jesus' name. And as the Bible says, that name, before that name, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.